Welcome. Today I'm going to be reviewing this Goldshell HS Box. Now I would consider this miner a highly speculative mining project, but I think it has huge upside profit potential in the next bull market. I'll explain how this miner could potentially make $268 a month or more in the future later in this video.
Really?
Really?
In this video, I'll give a high-level overview of the Handshake project. We'll do a high-level review of the Handshake cryptocurrency token. We'll review this miner specs and where you can purchase this miner today. We'll review my first 30-day profit results for this miner and a short break-even analysis. We'll review a profitability scenario analysis if we were to see the Handshake cryptocurrency token return to all-time highs. We'll go over some of the pros and cons I see in this cryptocurrency miner. And finally, I'll give you my thoughts and recommendations on this project overall. And just so you're aware, I'm not affiliated with Goldshell in any way. I'm not being compensated by them for anything I say in this video. And nothing in this video is financial advice. Do your own research before investing in cryptocurrency projects. So to start off, what is Handshake?
Impressive handshake.
Thanks.
Well, Handshake is a decentralized naming and certificate authority. They're seeking to replace the current centralized authority, a nonprofit called ICON. Essentially, they're looking to issue and create top web domains by an open auction system. They're also looking to make certificate authority obsolete. This is a validation check on the internet to ensure that the website you're visiting is authentic. This is usually shown by a closed padlock icon in your IRL bar. I'll put a link to Handshake's website in the description below if you're interested in learning more about this project. All right, let's quickly go over the Handshake cryptocurrency token. Handshake has a ticker HNS. It's currently ranked number 496 in terms of cryptocurrency market cap. It's trading just over 6 cents per token. It has a total current market cap of just over 31 million, and its fully diluted market cap will be just over 122 million. You can see here the price history. The cryptocurrency is down considerably compared to the all-time highs that we saw in 2020, where we saw the token hit just over 80 cents per token, but this decrease in the price is somewhat consistent with a lot of the other cryptocurrencies we're seeing so far in 2021. Now, it's also important to look at the different markets that your token that you're mining is traded on to ensure that there's proper liquidity so that you can sell your tokens if you so choose to at a later point. So you can see the major markets that this token is traded on is primarily Gate.io, but also we have some volume on Bittrex. Next, let's look at where you can purchase the Goldshell HS Box if you're interested. Now, I personally prefer purchasing my Goldshell products directly from the Goldshell website and not dealing with different third-party resellers. Historically, I found you can get the best prices when you're dealing with Goldshell directly. So you can see here, Goldshell currently has the Goldshell HS Box in stock. It's going for $195. This miner has a hash rate of 235 gigahash per second, plus or minus 5%. Its wall power is 230 watts, so you don't need a 240 volt outlet to run this miner. You can use a traditional 110 or 120 volt outlet. Its noise level is less than 35 decibels, which is a very low noise level. You probably wouldn't even notice it running in the same room. Connection is an Ethernet connection, but I believe there's also capability to connect this via Wi-Fi. Now, one thing to note, this miner does not come with a power supply unit, so you'll have to purchase one separately. Goldshell does offer power supply units on their website, but I find their power supplies to be overpriced and low quality. I had one power supply almost catch on fire on me, so I personally will not be using Goldshell's power supply units anymore. The power supply I use is this EVGA Supernova 80 plus gold 1300 watt unit. This gives me the capability to plug in anywhere between 4 and 5 mini box miners depending on the wattages of each box miner. So I'll leave a link to this in the description below if you're interested in purchasing this one. If you're planning on just plugging in one mini box miner, you can go with this smaller version here. This is the 80 plus gold 600 watt unit, and it's quite a bit cheaper than the larger unit that I had just gone over. I'll link this also in the description below if you're interested, but I'd go with EVGA. I've had good luck with them in the past, and I think they're known for their high quality power supply units. All right, next let's quickly go through my 30-day mining results for my Goldshell HS Box. So you can see here over the past 30 days, I've been mining anywhere between 10.5 and 12.5 HNS tokens per day. The pool I've been using is F2 Pool. I've been very happy with them. I also use them for my Goldshell KD Box Pros. So over the past 30 days, I've mined 338 HNS tokens for an average mine per day of 11.3 tokens per day. So the current HNS price is just over 6 cents per token. So currently our average revenue per day is 68 cents per day. We're estimating electric expense per day of 55 cents per day, and that's using a 12 cent per kilowatt hour rate. So our profit per day is only 13 cents at the moment, profit per month at $3.82, and profit per year of $46.51. So our current purchase cost for this miner is $195. So you have a break-even days of 1,530 days, 51 months, or 4.2 years. So obviously this is not a very profitable or super lucrative miner at the moment, and that's why I would consider this miner a much more speculative mining project. The break-even days on a lot of these low-cost miners has risen substantially over the past 8 to 10 months as the cryptocurrency market has fallen substantially. And really what we're banking on is we see a rally in the next bull market that'll make these miners much more profitable in the future. So next we want to look at what would happen if the HNS token were to rally to all-time highs again. Well, the last all-time high that we saw for the HNS token was in May of 2021, so just over a year ago, where we saw the price of the HNS token spike to 84 cents per token. So at that price, you're looking at this miner coming in at a revenue per day of $9.48 for a net profit per day of $8.93, profit per month of $268, and a profit per year of $3,260. So you can see in that scenario, at a $195 purchase price, you're breaking even in just over 21 days, which would make this miner super lucrative. So let's look at a scenario where that would happen 2 years from now. So if we were to see the HNS token reach those all-time highs 2 years from today, we're looking at a total mined over the next 2 years of 8,225 tokens. Now, this is not accounting for any potential mining difficulty increases that you may see over the next 2 years as more miners come online. So for simplicity purposes, we're assuming consistent earnings over the next 2 years. So at a coin price of 84 cents per token, we're looking at a total mine value of $6,923. You deduct your estimated electric expense at a 12 cent per kilowatt hour over 2 years of $401, and then you deduct your miner purchase price of $195, you would come up with a net profit of $6,327, or a return on investment of 3,245%. So in this scenario, that would make this miner super lucrative and a great investment to make. So obviously I'm not saying that this scenario is going to happen. I'm just laying out these numbers to show how profitable this miner would look if we were to see all-time highs again. All right, next let's go through some of the pros and cons I see with this Goldshell HS Box. We'll start off with the pros. The first pro I see is the miner price. At $195 price point, I think this makes it much more accessible for people to purchase, especially those who are newer to cryptocurrency mining. At a $1,000 price point that we saw in July of 2021, that's much more expensive and I think a higher risk for people to take. The next is ease of use. This is literally a plug and play box miner. I've had no issues with it going on or offline or having to troubleshoot it in any way. So it's really an easy miner for people to get their hands around in terms of setting it up and being able to maintain it. All right, the third pro I see is you can actually mine either Coin or the Handshake token with this miner. You have the option within the miner dashboard to switch algorithms. So if you're more interested in mining Coin, you can choose to do that. I did a separate video on the Goldshell SC Box, which mines Coin, which is a decentralized data storage project, and I'll link that video in the description below if you're interested in checking it out. The Coin is a much more established cryptocurrency project. It is a top 100 cryptocurrency coin. So if you don't necessarily want to speculate, I think the Handshake token is much more speculative. It is a higher risk cryptocurrency project. You can actually mine Coin instead if you feel more confident in that long term. This miner really gives off very little sound. It's a similar sound that you would have for maybe a computer fan, and the heat generation is quite minimal as well. Final pro I see is the upside potential in the HNS token. If we were to see HNS rally to all-time highs, it would make this miner super profitable and super lucrative. All right, next let's go through some of the cons I see with this project. First, this is a very speculative coin and we're very early in the Handshake project. The Handshake token didn't start trading till February of 2020, so we really have just under a year and a half of trading history for this project. And that's why I think this is still a very speculative coin. And since we are very early in this project, there is a risk that this project could go to zero. And then the second for cons is the minimal current profitability of this miner. We're just over break even per day on this miner. And if we were to see the Handshake token fall another 20 to 30%, that would actually make this miner unprofitable, and it wouldn't make sense to mine it because the electrical costs would be higher than the daily profitability for this miner. So that is something to consider, but really I think if you're using this miner, you're really speculating on future price appreciation of the token, and the current profitability, along with a lot of other miners that you're seeing today, is not super lucrative. So you really have to have that caveat and that faith in the project long term that, you know, there's going to be more profitability in the future. So as I've mentioned in previous videos, my strategy for altcoin mining is to get a small exposure to a large number of different cryptocurrency mining projects, knowing full well that some of these projects are going to fail miserably, but then there's others that'll see success beyond my wildest imagination. Now, will the Goldshell HS Box be one of these big success stories? I think it's still too early to tell, but I think the pros and the potential upside in this project outweigh the cons that I see. So I'm excited for the prospect for my Goldshell HS Box, and I'm excited to share my journey with you along the way. If you enjoyed this content, remember to like and subscribe. You can check out one of my other videos here. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.